Hello guys, welcome to Coding Pub. This is Arul. Our subscriber Rajasmith requested a video on the installation of pip3 and pipenv. So today we are going to see how to install and manage Python packages using pip and how to create and manage virtual environments using virtual env, virtual env wrapper and pipenv. Before we get into the video, please click the subscribe button below and the bell icon next to it to get notified about my future videos. Since you have done that, let's get started. Pip is the package installer in Python, which can be used to install packages which are not the part of the standard Python installation. Pip pulls the packages from Python package index and installs it on your system. To know more about Python package index, go to the website pypi.org. So this is the official website of Python package index. This one hosts Python packages from a simpler one to complex frameworks like Django or Flask. As you can see, currently around 261,480 projects are being hosted, and this list keeps on growing. In the home page, you will be able to see the list of trending projects and new releases, and you can search for the package you want. Here I am searching for Django. This will return you a list of packages which matches with your search query. The first one here is the Django framework. Let's open that one. Here you will be able to see all the details about the package, like the documentation link and the maintainers and the statistics for this particular package. And by going to the release history, you will be able to see the list of versions available in this particular package, and you will be able to install any of this version of any package using the command line tool pip. So let's see how to install pip in our Ubuntu system and how to use it. To install pip in your Ubuntu system, open your terminal and type the command sudo apt install -y python 3 -pip. The -y parameter is optional here. If you do not give it, it will ask you for a confirmation, and if you give the -y parameter, it will directly install the package without asking for a confirmation. As you can see here, the installation has started, and this installation will take some time based on the speed of your internet connection. So please wait till the installation is complete. As you can see now, pip has been successfully installed on our system. So to see the list of Python packages installed in your system, you need to use the list command. Let's see how to do that now. In your terminal, type the command sudo pip3 list and press enter. And this will take some time based on the number of packages installed on your system. So please wait for a few minutes or few seconds. As you can see, we are seeing the list of Python packages installed in our system. So I did not install these packages myself. These packages were installed by default on the Ubuntu system because Python is being used in Ubuntu for a lot of operations. So these are the packages list along with their respective versions. To install a Python package in your system, you need to type the command sudo pip3 install followed by the package name. Let's see how to install Django now. I'm just typing sudo pip3 install Django and press enter. So what will happen is the Django package will be pulled from the Python package index and will be installed on your system. So please make sure that you have an active internet connection, otherwise it won't work. As you can see, along with Django, a couple of other packages are also being installed. These are the dependencies for the Django package. So whenever you install a Python package, it might have some dependencies, and the dependencies will also be installed in your system along with the one you requested. So Django is now successfully installed on our system. Let's make sure that it is installed. So let's use the command sudo pip3 list. As you can see here, Django 3.1.1 is installed in our system. So this is the latest version of Django. If you want to install an older version, or if you want to install a specific version in your system, that is also possible. Let's see how to do that. So the command will be similar here. You just need to give sudo pip3 install Django, and next to that, let's specify a version number double equal to 2.1.1. I'm installing the version 2.1.1 now. As we have already seen, 3.1.1 is already installed on our system. So what will happen now is the existing version of Django package will be uninstalled and this 2.1.1 will get installed. As you can see, we are getting a prompt found existing installation Django 3.1.1. At this prompt, we don't have to do anything. It will uninstall this existing package and install the one we requested. As you can see, the existing package has been uninstalled here. So Django 2.1.1 is successfully installed. So we have now installed a package with the version of our choice. So now let's see how to update a package which is already installed in our system. To see the list of packages which are not up to date in your system, just type the command sudo pip3 list -o and press enter. This will print the list of packages which can be updated. As you can see here, there are a number of packages in our system which can be updated. We recently installed Django 2.1.1 and 3.1.1 is the latest version. So all these packages can be updated, and the numbers under the version column are the one currently installed in our system, and the numbers under the version column are the latest version of these packages. So let's now see how to update a package. Let's now try to update the Django package to the latest version. To update an existing package to the latest version, you just need to type the command sudo pip3 install -U followed by the package name. So this parameter -U specify that this package needs to be updated to the latest version. So we are now updating Django to the latest version. As we can see now, Django 2.1.1 is already installed in our system. So pip is uninstalling the older version of the package and will install the newer version in our system. So Django 2.1.1 is successfully uninstalled and Django 3.1.1 is successfully installed on our system. So this is how you can update a package using pip. So if we want to share the list of packages for a project to another person, or if you want to push the list to a server, you can capture the list of packages to a file in the requirements format using the command sudo pip3 freeze the greater than symbol requirements.txt. What it will do is it will create a file named requirements.txt and push the list of packages installed on our system to that file. Let's see the file content now. I'm opening the requirements.txt file in Vim. So this is how the file looks. So it will list all the Python packages in our system along with their versions. So you can share this file with others, or you can push this file to your server and install the packages for your project. If you want to install the packages from a requirements file, you can do that using the command sudo pip3 install -r requirements.txt. Please make sure that you are passing the -r parameter when you are installing the requirements, when you are installing the packages from a requirements file. Type this command and press enter. All the packages listed in the requirements file will be installed in your system when you use this command. So the file name doesn't have to be requirement.txt. You can use the file name of your choice, but requirements.txt is the standard file name, so we are using that one. If you want to see the help menu for pip, you can type the command sudo pip3 -help. So this will show the help menu for pip. You will be able to see the list of commands available with pip and the list of parameters that can be passed with the pip. If you want to see the help menu for a particular command, for example, if you want to see the help menu for the install command, you can type the command sudo pip3 install -help. So this will show the help menu for the particular command you have selected. As you can see now, we are now seeing the help menu for the install command along with the all the possible options for that particular command. If you want to uninstall a particular package, you can do that using the command sudo pip3 uninstall followed by the package name. Let's now uninstall Django, the package we installed at the beginning. So once you type this command and press enter, you will be asked for a confirmation whether to uninstall this package or not. In the confirmation, press Y and press enter, and the package will be successfully uninstalled from your system. If you remember, while we installed Django, a couple of dependency packages were also installed along with that. But when you uninstall Django, those dependencies won't be uninstalled, only the Django package will get uninstalled. If you want to uninstall the dependency packages, please make sure that those packages are not being used anywhere before uninstalling them. Otherwise, it might create some problem in the application you are running. So now we have seen how to install pip, how to install, uninstall, update and list the packages we have installed in our system. So what if you want to install multiple versions of the same package in your system for different projects? So that is when virtual environments come into play. So we can create virtual environments in Python using multiple methods. Let's first see how to do that using virtual env. To install virtual env in your Ubuntu system, open your terminal and type the command sudo pip3 install virtual env and press enter. Make sure that pip is installed on your system. As you can see now, we have successfully installed virtual env on our system. So I have created multiple projects in my system here. As you can see in the projects directory, I have app1, app2, app3 and app4, and each of this has a single Python script Let's consider this as each of them as different applications. Let's see how to create a virtual environment for app1 using virtual env. Now go to your terminal and change directory to your project, in our case project slash app1. As you can see, we have a Python script here. So to create a virtual environment, you need to type the command virtual env followed by the virtual environment name. You can choose any name you want. In my case, I'm going to name it as app1. As you can see, our virtual environment is successfully created now. If you go to your project directory now, you will be able to see a directory with the name of the virtual environment you created. So this is where all the scripts and packages for the virtual environment will be installed. To activate the virtual environment you just created, you need to use the command source, the directory of the virtual environment, in our case app1, then bin activate. When you type the command, you will be able to see that the virtual environment is activated. At the beginning of this line, app1 is the virtual environment here. If I do a pip3 list here, only these three packages are installed here, because the packages we saw earlier was the global packages which was outside our virtual environment. In our virtual environment, we did not install any package. These are the default packages which will be installed along with the creation of virtual environment. So we already know how to install packages and uninstall or update packages using pip. You can do all those operations in the virtual environment, but when you install a package inside the virtual environment, it will not affect your global packages. For example, let's list our global packages installed on our system. As you can see, the first package appders is of the version 1.4.4. Let's try to install a different version in our virtual environment here. So let's go to Python package index and search for the package here. So let's try installing this version 1.2.0 in our virtual environment. So I'm typing the command pip3 install appdars double equal to 1.2.0. So the package is being downloaded and being installed in our system. The package is successfully installed. If I type the command pip3 list, you can see the version of appdars is 1.2.0. This is inside our virtual environment. If I go to the global packages list here, the appdars version is 1.4.4. So this is how the virtual environment works. As you can see, in our global packages, there are so many packages, but inside our virtual environment, only there are 4 packages, and you will be able to install different version of the same package in each of your virtual environment. If you want to come out of a virtual environment, just type the command deactivate. So this will deactivate your virtual environment. If we type the command pip3 list now, it will list our global system packages, global Python packages. So we now have seen how to create a virtual environment using virtual env. The problem here is the virtual environment will be created inside our application, and we need to make sure that we don't push this directory to our repository or our server. We just need to push the requirements file and not the virtual environment itself. So to make this simpler, we can use virtual env wrapper. As the name implies, virtual env wrapper is a set of extensions which can be used along with virtual env. Let's see how to do that now. To install virtual env wrapper in your system, type the command sudo pip3 install virtual env wrapper. So this will download virtual env wrapper and install it on your system. Please wait till the installation is complete. As you can see, virtual env wrapper is successfully installed on our system. After we install virtual env wrapper, we need to do a couple of things before we can use it. So go to your file manager and go to your home directory and click on the menu here and click on show hidden files. You can do this by using the shortcut Ctrl H also, and locate the file .bashrc and open it in your text editor and scroll down to the bottom of the file. At the bottom of the file, add these commands: virtual env wrapper underscore python is equal to user bin python 3, and in the next line work on underscore home is equal to venvs. So please note that the venvs is the directory which will be used to create the virtual environments. This doesn't have to be venvs. You can use the directory of your choice. And next to this, type the command source slash user slash local slash bin slash virtual env wrapper.sh. After adding these 3 lines in this bash rc file, save the file and close it. And then you can undo the show hidden files step here. You can hide the hidden files. Then come to your terminal again and type the command source dot bash rc. So this will activate all the commands related to virtual env wrapper. Without doing this, you won't be able to use these commands. So since we have done that, let's see how to use virtual env wrapper now. So we already used the project app1 to see a demo of virtual env. Now let's use the project app2. As you can see, this is a single Python script project. I am opening the project directory in terminal. So projects app2. To create a virtual environment using virtual env wrapper, you need to use the command mk virtualenv. and followed by that you need to type a name for the virtual N. So I'm using app2 here. As you can see, our virtual environment has been created in a couple of seconds and the virtual environment has been activated. When we go to the project directory, there won't be any directory created here for virtual environment, because if you remember, we set a work on home in our bash rc file for creating the virtual environments. Let me open that directory here in the file explorer. As you can see, there is a new directory named venvs. This is the directory I have used on work on home. If I open that one here, this is where the virtual environment will be created. So unlike virtual env, the virtual environments will be created in this specified location and you don't have to worry about messing up your project directory. So it will be much simpler for you to create virtual environment. And let's see how to activate virtual environment using this wrapper. Let's deactivate this virtual environment now. As you can see, the virtual environment has been deactivated. To activate the virtual environment again, you just need to type the command work on followed by the virtual environment name. You don't have to be in the directory of the virtual environment, or you don't have to remember the path of the virtual environment when you are using virtual env wrapper. That is the main advantage of using virtual env wrapper. So you will be also able to remove the virtual environments you have created. To do that, let's first deactivate this virtual environment. I'm just using the command deactivate. So I just shown you the virtual environment app2 created here. If I want to remove this virtual environment, I can use the command rm virtual env followed by the virtual environment name. So as you can see, the virtual environment has been successfully removed. So creating and managing virtual environments using virtual env wrapper will be much simpler and efficient compared to virtual env. But please remember that virtual env wrapper is just a set of extensions for virtual env. It is not a standalone virtual environment package. Please remember that one. So we have now seen how to install pip and manage Python packages using pip. We have also seen how to create and manage virtual environments using virtual env and virtual env wrapper. But what if we want to combine both the functionalities? What if we want to create virtual environments, install and manage Python packages using a single package? That is also possible. We need to use a package named pipenv to do that. Let's see how to do that. To install pipenv in your system, open your Ubuntu terminal and type the command sudo pip3 install pipenv and press enter, and please wait for the installation to get completed. So pipenv is successfully installed on our system. So we used app 1 and app 2 of our projects for seeing a demo on pip and virtual env. So let's now use app 3. This is also a single Python script project. Let's open this directory in our Ubuntu terminal. So I'm going to projects app 3. To create a virtual environment in your Ubuntu system using pipenv, you first need to install a package of your choice. So let's see how to install Django using pipenv. To do that, type the command pipenv install Django. So what it will do is it will first create a virtual environment for this project, and then pipenv will fetch and install the latest version of the package Django here. As you can see, We are now seeing a prompt successfully created virtual environment and the location of the virtual environment here. So the creation of virtual environment and the installation of the Django package has been completed using a single command now. We just use the command pip env install Django. If you want to activate the virtual environment, you just need to use the command pip env space shell. As you can see, the virtual environment created by pip env has been activated. If you go to our project directory, you will be able to see the file pip file and pipfile.log. Let's see what these files are and where are these being used. If you open the pip file in your text editor, you will be able to see the Python version of the virtual environment we are using and the packages we have installed in our virtual environment. If we open the pipfile.log, you will be able to see all the packages along with their dependencies and the current version of each of the packages we are using. If you want to install a particular version of a package, for example, a particular version of Django, you can do that using the command pip env install Django double is equal to 2.1.1. Before doing that, let's take a look at the pip env file again. As you can see, the version number is mentioned as star here. The star represents the latest version of Django will always be installed. If we don't want that to happen, and if we wanted to install a specific version always, we do it using this command pip env install Django double is equal to the version number. So if I run this command, the existing Django package will be uninstalled and this version will be installed. So the installation of Django 2.1.1 is complete now. Let's go to the pip file now and reload the content. As you can see, the version has been set as 2.1.1 here. So whenever you create this virtual environment in any other system using this pip file, this specific version of Django will be installed. If you see a couple of lines above the packages, there is something called dev packages and it is empty. So let's see how we can use that. If you want to use any packages only in your development environment and you don't want them in your production server or in your staging server, you can use the option dev to do that. For example, let's install the package Django debug toolbar using the command pip env install Django debug toolbar. I'm also passing the parameter --dev here. So let's wait till the installation is complete and I'll explain what this parameter is after the installation is complete. So the installation of Django debug toolbar is complete now. Let's go to the pip file and reload its contents again. As you can see, Django debug toolbar has been added under dev packages and not under the packages. This is because we pass this dev parameter along with the installation command. So if you want to exclude few packages from being installed in the production server, you can use this dev command and use these dev packages only in your development environment. So this is how we can use pip env to create and manage virtual environments and install the required packages all with a single command with pip env. To remove a virtual environment in pip env, deactivate the virtual environment first and type the command pip env space --rm from your project directory. This will remove the virtual environment created for this particular project. So guys, now we have seen how to install and manage Python packages using pip and how to create and manage virtual environments using virtual env virtual menu wrapper, and ppnv. Hope this video was helpful to you. If you find this video helpful, please click the like button, and please click the subscribe button and the bell icon next to it to get notified about my future videos. Let's learn more in one of our future videos from Coding Pub. Till then, this is Arul signing off. Thank you.